It's Nika's real talk from a real place. It's Nika's real talk from a real place. What's up, my good people? Ooh, ooh. It is a lovely day in Zamunda. All right, I am excited. It's been a while, y'all. I was saying it proud, and loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Oh, February, baby. Well, now we in March. March Madness. Hey, hey, hey. But whew, I'm a little tired. But I pressed on my way because I got to talk to my people because I ain't talked to y'all in a while. I miss you. I miss y'all. I miss y'all. All that good stuff. So before we get into the topic, thank you for attending to watch Nika's Real Talk from a Real Place. And I'm your girl, Nika. Okay, and look, this is my nickname, first of all, y'all. Nika is my nickname, all right? So, I am so sick of people calling me Naka. Okay? My name is not Naka. I will not respond to people that call me Naka. And if you look like you want to call me Naka, I'm going to walk on right past you. Because it's 4 letters, people. My real name is She and Nika. Okay? Shanika. All right? Shanika. Not Shaneka. Because my mom wouldn't call me that. Because I'm from the hood. Shaneka. I don't know her. Shaneka. I don't want to meet her. And my name ain't Shaneka. It's Shanika. Okay? So, when you hear me say Nika, that's my nickname. All right? That's the name I go by. Nika. Neca. And the reason I mentioned because people it's such a trigger for me. It's a trigger. I went to Krispy Kreme's the other day, and a girl she asked me how to spell my name or whatever, and I gave her my name, and she goes, so the girl called me. She was like, "Nika," I said, "What are you talking about? Cause it's my donuts. First of all, and no, those my donuts. Okay, so those my donuts. My name ain't Nika. It's Nika. Okay." She's like, "I'm so sorry." And the cashier girl, she was like, "Don't play with her." I was like, "Cause girl, that ain't my name, sis. Dang. It's 4 little funky letters, and y'all be like, Neka. Who y'all know in the black community named their child Shaneka? Okay? Let me know if you ever find her. Cause it ain't my mom. All right? Moving right along. Yeah, that's the trigger for me, y'all. I don't like it. I get so agitated, and people don't understand how agitated I get. I might be smiling and be like, that's not my name, but I get agitated. Okay? Just so we know. All right. So, let's get started here. Um, First, Black Girls Are Pretty Sweet, Sweet Dreams. My daughter and I are the authors of this book. This is an amazing book. You can cop this on Amazon. And if you can't get in touch with them or you can't find this book on there, go ahead and hit me up in the DM at Coach Nika, and that's Neca, as you can see here on IG, and I'll get back with you, okay? And also, I have Journal to Victory, the purple book that is going to help you to get past your failures, your past, and your fears, okay? This book is a good tool if you really want to commune with God, if you really want to talk to God, and I'm going to tell you something. Because I got a lifestyle that go with God, and we go together because that's my big daddy, you know? It will touch your life. It will transform your life. And some of the stories that I shared in here is just stories to help people, to let you know that you are not alone. If you have been through some things, guess what? You can't come out. There is victory on the other side of that thing that you had holding you back. Okay? All right. Get those awesome tools. And again, you can reach me. You can DM me at Coach Nika on IG. If you want to get in touch with me on Facebook, you can basically look up Getting Back to You Consulting LLC, and you should see me, the beautiful nigga. And you can also send me a DM there and let me know that you want these amazing books, because these books popping. I mean, I ain't saying it just because, I'm the author or whatever the case may be, but I'm just saying. And also, my daughter is going to be presenting at a girl entrepreneur thing it's going to be, everybody say this month. So I'm excited. Deola Gator, she is yet giving a platform to girls who are entrepreneurs. Thank you, Diola. You are the best. Had to shout out to her. But all right, so let's get started with this topic for today. So the topic today is relationship wars. Baby, I know all about it. Okay, y'all need a hug. Okay, I'll give you a hug before. Woo, 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 all that good stuff. So anyway, I just know a lot of times, especially women who are Christian, or women who are not in the faith. This could be a struggle. This could be a struggle for women and for men. I don't just want to say that it's a struggle for just women, because it's for men as well that have a struggle in this area. So I've been through a lot of different relationships, and I'm grateful. I can say that I am very grateful. I'm trying to cool off, y'all, because as you see, my glass is stained up. You know that after shower life, you just having you just a little lit. I'm like, okay, calm down, because I ain't menopausal, and I just want y'all to know that. But back to the topic at hand. So, just even being in relationships, like a lot of times I notice that, you know, it's a thing. Like most women want to be in a relationship. Most women want to be married. And sometimes men, it could be vice versa, right? And that's cool or whatever. So before you get to, let's say, your Prince Charming or whatever you want to say, um, you're gonna go through some stuff. Okay, I've been there. I've done that. And just knowing, like, oh my goodness, and I couldn't believe when I went through it, but I did. So anyway, as a single mom, so I can tell you, I've been married twice. This is my second marriage that I am on now. Um, the first marriage that I was in was basically, it lasted for about 6 years. But it was a older man. He was older than me, and he's about 10 years older than me. So I think at the time when I got married the first time, I was 19. So that was that. It didn't work out. Kind of went through that thing. Okay. Then you try to move on. So I've been single, single mom, to married with children, to single mom with children again, to married again with children. So I didn't transition a lot in this life. But like I say, I am grateful for my experiences in relationships, because it has taught me a lot, and it has taught me what to prepare for. Because a lot of times people go through stuff and they just feel like, okay, I went through this just because I felt like going through it. That's not the case. You literally go through these different trials to figure out who's going to be your Prince Charming, right? So to speak. And as for men, who's going to be their queen, so to speak. Um, but I do know a lot of times it's very hard in a dating pool. And baby, when I tell you these relationship horror stories, you're gonna be like, oh, jeez, it's a lot. So I just want people to know that if you really want to abstain and want to be kept by God, you could be. There's a possibility. Okay, I want y'all see my shirt. Nika is hood and holy. Okay, all that, cause you get a little hood, you get a little holy with me. So I really was always a person that when it came to relationships, like I have never like really got too attached to people, because I've always had like this box, because I went through a lot in this life, So past trauma sometimes can make you kind of detached from actually wanting to move forward in a relationship, a bonding moment, because it's like, I can't trust you because I don't know what you're going to do to me, okay? And so I spent most of my life going through those trials and those tribulations, but at the end of the day, that is not the purpose that God was like, you got to get you somebody, because I was a hot girl, you know what I'm saying? I was just tell y'all the truth and shame that devil, okay? So I was a little hot girl. But I had to go through all of those different things that I experienced in order to really, really, really reflect on life and know, like, boom, this is what God has for me versus what Nika has for me. Okay. Um, and sometimes it's very hard in that waiting series on like what's gonna happen with me. Like I said, the first marriage it didn't work out, and that's perfectly fine. Yes, I know that it's some struggles with me, it was some struggles with him. I'm not just going to sit here and make it seem like everything was him, because people tend to do that after a relationship is worked. Oh, that was that person. No, it takes two to tangle. So if it takes two to tangle, it takes two to either try to work on a marriage, or it takes two to either not do it. Okay, both parties can walk the way they want to walk, whatever float their boat. So it just kind of didn't work out. Okay, and kind of glad it didn't, because I can move on with my life, right? But at the time when you're going through those things, you'd be like, you don't see that. So right after that, I called myself, when I was still separated at the time from my first husband. And I was like, well, I'm going to just do my thing. I'm like, shoot, I'm not with him no more. And he don't want to be with me. So I'm out here wilding. Oh, wild out, wild out. All that stuff, right? So I had this person that I was, seeing at the time. And, we was doing our little thing. I ain't going to sit here and act like I was super holy, because I wasn't. I was trying to get there. I was trying to get there. It took me a minute, but I tried to get there. And so, I was messing with this guy, and I was just like constantly like going to church, and I was feeling the conviction. I was like, whoa, whoa, this is a heavy message. So, the first, like I said, the first marriage, it kind of dissolved around 2007 for me, and I was struggling. I was going through a lot. So again, I had my little boo. We used to go on dates and stuff like that. So I thought, it was cool, right? And the guy was like, no, no, I'm gonna need you to detach. I'm like, what? And so I'll never forget. So we had this singer, Shay Simpson. She came to our church, and she sang with the power of God, baby. Can I tell you, she sang, all right? And when you would listen to her music, even now, look up Shay Simpson. It's SHA and it's Simpson, baby. This woman of God is truly from God, because I'm telling you, like, even to listen to her vocals, I was like, whoo. And so one day, I told this man, because I just felt like, it wasn't fully like a relationship, even though we was kicking it, we was dating, we was doing this and doing that. And I'm like, I'm still, and I was raggedy because I was still married at the time, but I didn't care, because I'm like, I've been hurt, so whatever, right? So, I was listening to a Shay Simpson song, and I was like, it was, I think it was the song about David. I'm just an ordinary. I think that's what it was. But I was listening to the song about David the servant, and she was talking about I believe, and it's a powerful song. The song is very powerful, and because I kept telling this guy, I'm like, what is going on? What are we doing? Because us as females, like, we want to know what are we doing if we care, okay? But if we don't, it's just like, okay, we just going with the flow. Oh, you doing? Okay, I'm doing too. All right, move on. But see, it wasn't that scenario. It was mainly like, okay, let's see what's going on here. Like I said, me and the guy was fully dating. We was intimate and all that other stuff. And one day I just was listening to Shay Simpson, and I was like convicted. I'm like, I can't keep doing this. I can't. I cannot keep doing this. So I ended up calling a guy, and I told him, I said, you know what? I don't think this is gonna work. I tried to like kind of, be with you. I'm like, but this is just not working. I'm gonna kind of go on my own path. He's like, what? We could be together. We could be together. I was like, no, no, we can't be together. I'm like, it's just not working out for me. So I kind of cut the relationship, and that was that. He did try to reach out to me at the time again and again and again, but again, I was not available to him because I was on a new path. And for me, this path was a new path, I'll say, because I had been intimate and sexually active since I was young, like very young. So that was new for me. That was something that I was not used to because I was used to getting me some. I'm just gonna tell y'all what God love, okay? And so I was like, wow, what am I doing? So I was, as opposed to being intimate with others, I was intimate with God. And that's what God longs for. He longs for us to love Him and get a deeper relationship with Him. And at the time, I wasn't thinking about that because I'm just like, out here living my best life, baby, okay? And everything kind of started going to place. So I want to say after that, I had several other candidates who wanted, okay, they knew I was abstinent. Okay, let me tell you, women, if you are abstinent, you don't have to tell nobody. You could just keep that between you and God because I'm gonna tell you something. The minute you tell a man that you are abstinent, and this may be for the same with fellas that have tried to abstain from that, people really be like, they lying. I don't believe them. And they will test you up the wazoo. Do you hear me? They will really test you. And so it's always like, let me see if I can get into the cookie jar any way I can. That's what I experienced after that. So I was caught myself talking to this one man, and and he was a church goer. And I'm like, really like, oh yeah, I'm trying to be abstinent, blah, blah, blah. I'm a single mom now, struggling at that. And this man has a full blown job. Do you think he tried to help me? No, not even one time. I guess he said that wasn't his responsibility. But you trying to get in my panty drawers. Interesting. Very, very interesting. And so he kept trying and 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 kept trying. And I was like, no, that's a no for me. And I told him, I was like, I'm really, really trying to be right with God. I'm trying to be on this path and, really walk with Him. That you can't tell people that because that is not received a lot of times because they be looking at you like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I eventually had to cut ties with him because he was really trying to get on in my cookie jar. And I said, you can't get my cookies now. I said, no. Okay? Because if I tell you can't get my cookies, you keep trying to take my cookies. What it's going to look like? I ain't going to even say it, but you know what it look like. So go on about your business. So that was that. Met another guy. We were talking, just trying to see what's going on. Again, he wants to dip into the cookies. Okay? Y'all can't have my chocolate chip cookies if I say you can't get them. They just kept on trying. And so the guy was like, well, he was like, yeah, what's wrong with one time or whatever the case may be. Again, sir, I am being kept by the Lord. Okay? You either respect her or get on. All right? Because nobody got time for that. And that's what you're going to realize, that if that is the road that you take, you can't share that with everyone because everyone is not going to support you in what you're trying to do for God. Okay? I continued. I kept telling him, say, look, if you're going to continue to try to go this route, this is not going to work out because that's not what I'm on right now. I have another purpose and another vision. And so by this time, I had been kept for 3 years, baby. I'm going to come back up here. That is very, when I say hard for me, it is. And I say that because I am a person that have been active again for a very long time since I was younger. So this was like, this is hard. I even tried to go back at one point and ask my ex-husband, I was like, can we? Because it was hard for me. But he was like, nah. And I was like, that's good. He said that because I ain't really want to anyway. But anyway, so that for me, again, was a moment in time for me to commune with God, to get in tune with my Father, and just love on Him, Him loving on me. Um, and that was my consistent thing. Like that was what I was doing. I was going to church. I'm trying to live holy, real, like for real, like trying to keep myself. And I just noticed like relationship horrors that just kept on coming, kept on coming. And so one day, it was a guy, he's on Facebook, you know. I called myself, this man was all the way in another country, okay? I called myself in the whole relationship with this man for 6 months. I said, that's perfect because I'm trying to be kept anyway, so I don't got time for all this other stuff because these fools want to get in this cookie jar. They ain't getting up in here, okay? And because that's the thing, when you really have your mindset to do whatever God has chosen you to do, you have to stay on that task. Don't let anybody like shake you, make you feel like you're doing something wrong because you're not. It's just basically like, okay, this is my time to give my body to God, and just because I ain't never did that before. I mean, because like I said, I was doing the do. When they said like LL Cool J was singing the song, doing it, that was me. I was doing it wild all the time. So to come to a point to say, Lord, I want to be kept. Can you keep me? That was very, 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 et cetera, hard for me. Because it was like, that is something that I was used to doing. No attachment or anything. It's just like, I was kind of like a dude. Like how they say dudes are back. Like, no attachment, just do your thing, go on about your business. That was the life I was living. And I guess God was like, I'm going to need you to will it on into me. So I did that for quite some time. And again, when you're trying to be on the path of righteousness, you're going to find everybody, Tom, Dick, and Harry, that's going to try to get you off focus. But again, you have to continue to say, whatever you're going to set yourself to do, do it. Because if not, it's going to give in. You're going to give in. And so, again, that was kind of like how things went for a very long time, until I felt met this guy online. So then I was like, call myself dating this man, and eventually I'm just like, I was talking to somebody else, and they was telling me they was like, you dating one of them, they con artists. I said, oh, and the minute I said a certain word to this man, he kind of spiraled out of control and started telling me stuff gonna come down. I was like, the blood of Jesus. I was like, don't be throwing that ego over here, Ricky Bobby. Don't do that. Show Rob. So I eventually cut ties with that guy. And again, that thing supposed to went on for 6 months, baby, knowing it wasn't really real. He probably had 25 wives or something. I don't know. But, I ain't even getting any further into it. I'm trying to see how my earrings look because I got to look cute while I'm talking to y'all. And so, after that, it was a guy that I kind of like met on Facebook. He called himself a poet or something. And he just really like women was all over him like, oh my goodness, he's so sexy. He's a sexy poet. Oh my goodness, fall over him. And I was like, ooh, I like the way he talk. I was like, wow. The whole time he was the devil. The devil. Do you hear me? To get me off my task. Because, baby, like I said, I ain't really need, because at that point it had been 3.5 years for me. So I was really like trying to be kept and really like keep myself together because I'm like, I want to be right before God. And again, I had told everybody, I was like, you know how like you going to get a timeshare or something, and you be like, no, 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 no. That was literally me. I was telling everybody no. But for some reason, when I met this sucker, I couldn't even say no. And so I gave in to my flesh. After all that time, I had given up to my flesh because I was like, I'm sad. And it was okay. It wasn't all that, but I'm just saying, your flesh gonna make you think things are good. Like, you get this smooth talker, the whisperer, so to speak, into your ears and make you feel like, okay, this is something I want to do. And I gave into it. And then, I just noticed, I tell people the story. I just recently shared it on Storytime with Coach Nika. And I was just sharing, like, this guy, when I say he was the enemy, like, literally, like, to get me off my square, like, that's what he was. He was definitely that. He was not Prince Charming at all. He was charming, but in his own way, but it wasn't, he was coming to save me or anything of that nature. So, I noticed we were intimate, I wouldn't see him that often, and I know my cousin's pretty good, so I was like, he trapping. I don't know what's going on. So, you know, it was just consistently like a rocky thing to the point he told me like, oh, I have health ailments, but that doesn't affect me and all this type of stuff. But the further we get into this thing, it's like, oh, I'm sick. Oh, this. I'm like, do you want me to bring you something? And he's telling me to stay with his family member the whole time. He was lying, lying, and lying and lying. So I started like doing my own little research because I'm like, something ain't right with this situation. And then what he ended up doing was leaving his void card at my house. So y'all know I was all in his business because I was. And then I found out that he was married. I do not. When I say I do not mess with one before I was married, I would not mess with anybody. If I knew a person was married, that's an automatic no for me. Because I'm not trying to be dipping in nobody's stuff. Because when I'm married and I got something going on, I don't want people thinking like, oh, you can come dip in my jar. That's mine. Go on about your business. So I found out like the woman on Facebook who his wife was, and I reached out to her sister, and he, oh, delete that, and of course, he had me to do that because he was gonna go, oh, she crazy and all this other stuff because that's what they do. That's what they do. They want to make women look like they're crazy, stalking them and all this other stuff, but the whole time you was all up over here, partner. So you knew you was wrong, and so when I found that out, I was like, I'm going from it. I'm done because you're married or you're with somebody where you stay with them and you made it seem to me like I was the only person, but then I'm spazzing out because something's not right with this picture. But my whole thing was he was wasting my time and his time, and all he had to do was go on about his business. I kept telling him like, if this is not something you want to do, I'm good with that. Go on about your business. I'm gonna be okay. But again, he didn't, and he wanted to keep on fooling around with me, knowing that something wasn't right. So once I did find out about the situation, the wife and all that, I was like, bye bye. I got to go. I cannot continue to keep being involved with someone that obviously had something else going on other than me. And so, women, I tell you, men, I tell you, do not be gullible for the first thing that seems or appears that it's good for you or it's going to be good to you. Because a lot of things that you feel is good for you ain't good for you. Okay? A lot of things that's good to you ain't going to be good for you. So you have to distinguish what's going on. And baby, when I tell you, when I cut that off, and I had to reclaim myself and get myself back together because I was like, this man is from the enemy. I knew it because I was trying to walk on the right path, and all of a sudden I let a smooth talker come on in. Baby, I'm a smooth talker. What you talking? You ain't saying nothing. So when I allow you in my space, then I kind of something right here. So I broke that off. I moved on. I then began to kind of wait and ask God, like, okay, what's next? I'm ready now. Once I finally got through that point, because it was just like It was a lot. It was a lot to take on. It was a lot to endure. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that I went through those experiences. Yes, were they horrible at the time? Yes, they were. But I made it through it. So I'm going to tell you, men and women, you're going to experience people. They're going to make it feel like they are the one. You need to really check. And so one way to identify if it's right, if it's something you pray for and you see it in this person, if it's something that you believe God for and you see it in this person, um, because those are signs that God is showing you like who is for you. So when I got with my husband prior to that, of course, we had both broken up in the relationships that we were in. And we decided to move forward with each other. And with that being said, a lot of things that I had prayed for years in my next husband was everything that I began to see in him. And I'm so grateful to God. You know, we had a little riffraff at the beginning, but we made it through because we knew that we loved each other and we wanted to be with each other. And I don't even know how he got in, but he got in. So I say to you, the woman, the single woman, or the single man that is waiting, if you're really waiting and you want God to do this, let him show you who that person is. Stop trying to do it on your own, because I'm going to tell you right now, you'll fall flat on your face when you do it on your own. But when you begin to wait on God, he's going to do it for you. He's going to make a way for you. And he's going to show you who's for you, if you pray and believe that he's going to do that. So I'm grateful that all of those different experiences and all those people try to get in my cookie jar, all those wolves and sheep clothes, well, sheep's in, whatever they say, it's in the Bible though. Y'all find it. The sheep in the wolf clothes and all that, something like that, something along those lines. You know, I can't quote it right off, but you have to be aware of the people who are not for you, and just know at the end of the day, if you walk with God, you talk with God, he's going to send you something straight from God. Okay? Don't get it twisted. So I love you all. That's all I got to say. Love yourself. Be good to yourself. And while in waiting, if this is the case, you are single, ready to mingle, that's fine too. But ask God in your dating or whatever you're doing that he leads you so that you can know what's the deal for real, for real. Because there's people out here, they out here for play. We ain't got time for that. All right? I love y'all. And I am so glad that we are in March Madness. And I just want y'all to know, prepare to be sick of me in April. Because my birthday coming. I'm going to be 40 shouty. I'm excited. I'm excited about all that. Until next time, it's been great. Love, peace, and just let your soul glow.